Well, good morning. Welcome back to Central Ontario. Picked up another GameCam about 5 months ago, and I've been testing it out for 5 months continuously. So I thought maybe I'd finish up the review today. Why don't you take a few minutes, watch the first part of the video, which I filmed back last November 2018, and then we're going to wrap up the review today. Cheers. Okay, so I picked up a new game camera. It's made by a company called CamPark. It's model T70. So initially I was just going to go out and get another stealth cam like the one I had bought about 2 years ago. But then I thought, it's been a couple of years, technology changes, competition brings prices down, those kind of things. So I took a look around, spent about an hour and a half to 2 hours researching on the web, writing down, checking reviews, and seeing the different models. And I came across this T70, and at the end of the day I ended up picking this up. Had a lot of great reviews on it, much cheaper than the stealth cam I purchased. And because I guess technology has changed a bit, this one's got better resolution, so it's got 14 megapixels on the photos, and it'll do 1080p on the videos. A lot of other different interesting things about it. One of the benefits of it too is it actually has a built-in LCD screen. So while you're out in the forest and it's on a tree or wherever it is you've mounted it, you can actually review your footage right on it without having to take the card out. So similar to other cameras, it has the ability to take photos at certain intervals. It'll take one photo if you want, or it'll do bursts of 2 or 3 photos. It'll also do video, based on motion, and you can have the video run for 10 seconds or a minute or up to 3 minutes, I think. But either way, it's got some of those general features. Seems to have some easy programming buttons on it. And this unit, which I thought was nice, in addition to having the screen on it, also comes with a hard mount, which most of them don't. So it comes with a base as well as an adjustable mount. So if you want to screw it to a tree or to a limb, you can tilt it, change direction or angle of it, and then lock it in, which is pretty handy. It also came with the tree strap, and it also comes with a USB cable. So if you don't want to take your SD card out and put it in the computer, you can actually connect your computer directly to the camera. So that's pretty handy. That's a lot of stuff. It was $88.99 on Amazon.ca. Don't know how the quality is going to be, so we're going to test the performance of it. I'm going to take it, and for the next month or two, I'm going to leave it out in the forest. I'm going to try it on different settings, and we're going to see how the quality of the photos and the video is, and how well it handles the cold here in Canada. So once you get your coffee and come back, I'll have all the footage, and I'll tell you how well it did, or how well it didn't do. Okay, so that first part of the video I shot just about 5 months ago. And I've had this camera now since about November, and we're now sitting around the middle of April. So it's seen the whole winter time, late fall and all the way through the cold winter. Wanted to give you some feedback on this unit. Some good positive things and some constructive things. As you know, I don't like to say negative things about products, but in this case there's a couple of things that I think are noteworthy. So let's start off with some of the good things I found with it. First of all, I've used this camera now over the last 5 months inside, warm homes, in garages that are not heated, in workshops or garages that are heated. I've had it outside in the forest or on the porch in weather ranging from 10-12 degrees right down to negative 38 degrees Celsius. And so it's seen a lot of use in the last 5 months. I've actually already changed the batteries on it once because I've used it most every single day since I got this camera last November. Let's take a look at it. A couple of the pros and cons I found about this camera, which I thought were a little bit better than the camera that I've currently been using for the last couple of years, is the camera has a screen on it. As I mentioned to you before, the screen will allow you a lot easier programming, and it has, like most game cams, it has different settings for whether you want to take one photo or you want to burst 3 or 5 photos, or on a video side, you can set the video to play or to do video clips upon motion right up to 3 minutes long. So I think that's pretty good. The nice thing about it is, especially if you're using it in a forest, is that you can turn it on, and instead of having to take the SD card out and run it into the cabin and connect it to your computer, you can simply turn it on the screen, check out the screen, and you can go through the buttons and check to see if there actually is any footage or anything that's been captured on the camera. And that way, if there isn't, you just simply reset it again, close it up, and walk away. So that's pretty handy. Another nice feature of this camera is that when you turn it on, and you close the door, there's a visual indicator that flashes 5 times to confirm to you that the camera has been set and is ready to receive motion and to take pictures. So that's pretty handy. The unit itself is very watertight, and during the 5 months, at no time did I ever find any moisture or any water inside the camera. It's been through rainstorms, it's been through freezing rain, hail, snowstorms, right through the winter, variety of different temperatures, but it's always been dry inside. The unit has weather stripping around that sits in a channel around it to help keep it weatherproof, and it usually has 2 locks on the side to keep it weatherproof. As I mentioned to you, very handy, has the tree strap that comes with it, as well as a stand if you need to attach it to somewhere more permanently. So those were all pretty handy units of it. As you can see above me and throughout this video, you'll notice that the picture quality was excellent. I have no problem with the picture quality. Whether it was taking still pictures at 14 megapixel or it was taking video up to 3 minutes long at 1080p, very clear, crisp pictures and video every time. And whether it was a long video that was shot at night off of motion or shot during the day, as you can see, it took really, really good high quality pictures. So overall, from that perspective, camera worked really well. A couple of things that I wanted to mention that are a little more constructive about this camera. As you can probably see, one of the latches is broken off the camera. That happened after about 5 or 6 days of use, and I was not, treating it rough or dropping it. I was trying to close it once and the latch just simply snapped off. What I think happened is the weatherproofing here is a little loose. It doesn't fit snugly into that channel. It's a little bit loose, and I have a feeling what happened is it bent over the channel and I must have closed it down. It's the only thing I can think of. Either way, I've been using it for several months without the second clasp. It's still been waterproof, so that's a good thing, but at the same time, was kind of disappointed that the latch broke so quickly. Another thing about the camera I wasn't happy with, the SD card fits in very tightly under this slot in the bottom. It's very difficult to get your fingers in there to pull this card out. And as you can see, I don't have really big hands. But either way, small criticism. With the other GameCam that I've got, the GameCam the plastic is molded so you can easily get your finger in to pull the card out. So let's get to the big things with this camera. As I mentioned to you, I've been using this camera for 5 months almost consecutively every day. I've had it on. And primarily through that 5 months, I've done pictures in some case with motion at night, but primarily I've had it in video mode, and I've had it set to either 2 or 3 minute video clips triggered upon motion during the day and the night. Unfortunately, what I found with this camera, despite the fact that the specs say that it's good to negative 20 degrees Celsius, as soon as you get into negative temperatures outside, it becomes very unreliable, or at least this unit I had was. It works pretty good in warm temperatures, whether it's indoors or whether it's outdoors and it's warm out, but as soon as you get below freezing or below 0 degrees Celsius, the camera starts to act up or it starts to malfunction. And what I mean by that is that you'll find that it either doesn't trigger on motion when it should, or it triggers on motion, and if you've got it set, for example, at 3 minute video, it'll shut off for some reason after 19 seconds or 23 seconds or 1 minute and 14 seconds. And so I think if you're looking for a unit that you want to leave out in the forest and you're in a climate like mine here in Canada where you're going to get cold winters but you want the GameCam outside, this may not be the right unit to use into that application. In comparison, I have a Stealth Cam which I've had for a few years, as you folks know, if you watch the channel. That camera has been sitting out in the forest for just about 2 years now. It's never come back in the house. I've only had to change the batteries on it once. And despite negative 38 degree Celsius temperatures or positive 38 degree Celsius temperatures, rain, wind, snow, it always triggers on motion still to this day. Whereas with this camera here, it's been kind of hit and miss, so it becomes less and less reliable the colder it gets outside. You're probably asking yourself how I know that. For those of you that watch the channel, you know that I've also been testing out a mouse trap that's come out of New Zealand. And so I've had this as my primary GameCam on that mouse trap 24 hours a day, and I've been moving that mouse trap outside in different areas throughout the winter, as well as indoors in garages, in crawl spaces, basements, workshops, etc. And this has been the camera I've been using. So the reason I know it's unreliable is because I've had it set at 2 or 3 minute video intervals, and I've noticed that I've come out in the morning and there will be a mouse in the trap, but there will either be no video or there will be partial videos, for 19 seconds or 37 seconds when I've set it for 3 minutes. And that always happens once the temperatures fall below freezing. And it's happened numerous times. The reason why I waited so long to finish off this review is, like any product review, you want to make sure you give a product an opportunity to be successful. So taking a product off the shelf, getting it delivered, and then doing a review right away, I don't think is of a lot of value. Using it for 5 months through varying different temperatures and different types of conditions, I think provides a little more substance to the review. So in conclusion, the T70 CamPark, good casual camera if you're just using it as a casual observer and you're using it in warm temperatures. If you need something that's really reliable that you're using out in the forest, whether it's during hunting season or it's for other purposes around your camp or at home, this may not be the right model for you. So unfortunately, I cannot give it 2 thumbs up. Thanks for sticking around. I hope it was helpful for folks looking for a game cam. If you like the channel, please click subscribe, hit the like button, and if you want to know when I'm posting videos, just click that little bell. Have a wonderful week with your families, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.